We'll just get started in a minute, just giving people a few minutes to join because it's a registration link. So usually people have to go through a process. Yeah. Okay, I think looks like it's fairly stable now. So we can get started. And just allow me to start the recording. Okay, great. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. My name is Abhishek Kumar, and I lead Ripple's Learning, the organization behind CHRMP, Certified Human Resource Management Professional. And it's a pleasure to have all of you here take out your precious time and attend this masterclass on generative AI. It's a big buzzword. It's become a buzzword to an extent that I recently saw a video, or I think a forward somewhere, where they were selling a phone, a phone's screen protector, the screen protector that you put on the phone to protect the screen. And it said that this screen protector is optimized for AI. So I think I don't know how the screen protector is going to be optimized for AI, but basically AI is a buzzword that has sort of captured the imagination of the whole world, and and it is poised to have a very deep and very profound impact on our society and our business. And maybe that's why, I always believe that uh, cliches have a little bit of truth. In fact, not a little bit, a lot of truth. If somebody starts, if you keep hearing something again and again, and you become tired of it, the reason it's being mentioned again and again is because there is something happening there, isn't it? And people are just expressing that in the simplest of ways, or in a way that they can deal with. So before we get started, just a quick sanity check. I hope all of you can hear me. Just let me know in the chat box if all of you can see me. I have my video on, so uh, you can even unmute. This is a small group, 27, 28 people. So if you can just say yes, unmute and say yes, that will be great as well. That will tell me that I can hear you as well.
Hi, Abhishek. Yes, we can hear you and also see.
You can just. Yeah, I think now I can hear you. Manoj, you said something, is it?
Yeah, I said we can see you and hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know.
We can hear you and also see.
Okay, great. Also, this is not a very big group, so if you feel comfortable and if
Yeah, we can hear you and we can see you.
great. Yes, I got that. I got that from several people that you can hear me and see me. So this is not a very big group. So if you feel comfortable and we can hear you and we can see you. Great, great. Okay. So this is not a very big group. And if you feel comfortable, you can also switch on your video camera. We can create that sort of intimate feel where we are all in the same room and talking about an exciting new technology. So if you are in a place where you feel comfortable, if you have good lighting, if you are wearing slightly professional clothes, please feel free to come online. All right, great. So let's now start talking about generative AI, right? So this whole brouhaha has started on uh, I think 30th of November 2022. I heard about it on 10th of December 2022. I remember I was in Mumbai for a meeting, and I was in the hotel room, and I kept hearing this chatter on Twitter about Chat GPT and oh, this is crazy, oh, this is crazy, what is going on? And Elon Musk kept posting about it, and um, uh, there were these other people I was following in AI because we had been doing GPT-2 for a while, and I was working with apps like Phrase and Writer. So I had some idea that these developments were happening. And this was pretty good. In fact, just a week before ChatGPT's launch, I was showing an intern how you can write a poem. She was very passionate about veganism. So I was showing her how you can write a poem about veganism using this Writer app, right? So I saw this, and I think uh, 10th of December 2022, when I saw that thing in the hotel room, I think that registered for me as one of those unforgettable moments, like which you'll never forget. Like, for example, the first time I saw internet was probably in 1997, and I never forgot it. Like, it was, my mind was blown. Like, oh my God, how could something like this be possible? You never forget where you were when 9/11 happened. You never forget. So I think and I think a lot of people had that sort of visceral reaction to seeing Chat GPT, to having a machine that, I mean, we talk about the Turing test as if a machine can deceive you that it is human, then it is actually attained intelligence. But machines have been deceiving us that they are human for a very long time. I remember in my college there was this therapeutic app called Lisa, which was in 1990s they developed it, and I saw it in 2000s. And it was very, very clear that you could talk to Lisa about your problems, and she would give all these typical therapist responses. And that was not even AI, that was just like regular Pascal programming or something, So, and still people were talking for hours with Lisa. So I think this is really a very, very substantial shift in humanity. And I think we are entering a new era. And I know these are all cliches, but like I said, cliches have some truth in them. I think since the advent of the iPhone, which is the last big consumer tech moment of huge change we saw, which was from moving from BlackBerry to iPhone, and which was not really a big change actually, because if you think about it, everything that iPhone did already existed. Touchscreens already existed. Internet on email already existed. BlackBerry had done that. Smartphones already existed. Mobile phones already existed. Internet already existed. So iPhone's genius and the whole smartphone revolution and the ecosystem that sort of spawned from there were all built on the premise that this was all put together in a very beautiful, Steve Jobsy way of making it very elegant and user friendly and beautiful and all of that. So that's what we have seen. And then in the last sort of 15, 20 years, most of what we have seen is a societal addiction to apps and social media. And that has sort of defined tech revolution, what it means for us. But all of these have not been a 0 to 1 change. They have been a huge change. There has been a consequence to that in society in terms of hardening of views, sort of how society has reacted, how companies have reacted. But overall, the technological shift has not been crazy. It's in the smartphone. Peter Thiel in his book 0 to 1 says that smartphones that distract us from the world around us also show us that nothing much has changed in the world. You have the same roads, the same kind of aeroplanes, the same kind of technology driving the world. So nothing much is really changed. But I think with the invention of chat GPT, we do see things have changed at a very fundamental level. You can compare it to the invention of the aeroplane, or maybe the CEO of Google compared it to the invention of fire, right? So this is like as big a moment as invention of the fire, or invention, or maybe invention of the printing press, something like that, right? We're happy and lucky to be alive to watch this transformation happen. It is going to affect everything. It is going to affect society. It's going to affect governance, politics, geopolitics, business, and therefore it will also affect business, and therefore it will also affect HR professionals. So all of this is going to happen. There is no doubt about it. I'm going to give you a quick introduction and show you as many things as I can in the time we have available with us. But before that, just want to get a quick sense of how familiar you are with the technologies, right? And I'm launching this poll now. It should have popped up in the screen in front of you. So if you can just quickly respond to the poll. Uh, so 14 people have replied. And yeah, so I'm still waiting for about 10 people to reply. Go ahead. Don't be shy. Please respond so that I'll also get a sense of where the room is, and I can tailor my presentation accordingly. Right. Okay. Right. So let's see. Um, yeah. So I think I have I don't have responses from about 4 people, but I guess that includes me, maybe one other person. So I will end the poll here, and we will see what the results are, right? Though I have the results, so just in case the results don't display, let me take a screenshot of the results. Yeah. So here we are. I hope all of you can see the results on your screen now. This is where we are, right? So 42% of you use ChatGPT or Gemini or something else all the time. 46% have used it a few times, and not used it is also 12%. So there are 12% of people who have never used an AI tool. So I think it's going to be a revelation for that 12%. But yes, 46%. So usually, how things have changed. In the beginning, when we used to do this masterclass in 2023, June, July, we started the certification in generative AI. It was about split 10% all the time, used it a few times, 40%, and maybe never used it 50%. And then in 2024, it became 33, 33, 33, right? All the time 33. I've used it a few times, 33, and I have heard of it but not used it, 33. And now you see in the middle of 2025, it's 42% use it all the time, 46% have used it a few times, and 12% have heard of it but not used it. Very, very interesting, right? So it also means that there is a majority, so 58% people who are not using AI to their full potential, and 42% who are using it all the time but are still hungry to learn more and do more with AI, as you should be, because the possibilities are absolutely limitless, right? So let me begin my presentation. I will also do a few demos, and I'll take questions. So if at any point of time, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box. Or if it seems like an appropriate time, just unmute and ask the question, and I'll take the question. Like I said, it's a very, very small group. Um, and I'll be happy to have conversations along with just sharing in a one-way manner whatever I have to share, right? Uh, so let me quickly show you uh, a little bit about uh, what happened, and then we will talk about AI. So this is the tweet that changed the world. Just launched ChatGPT, our new AI system, which is optimized for dialogue. Remember, this was launched in their blog as a part of a research initiative. They never expected it to grow the way it did. It took 5 days to reach 1 million users. Instagram took 75 days. Spotify took 158 days. Google Translate took 78 months to reach 1 million users, right? Faster than Instagram, 100 million active users currently, 1.6 billion monthly website visits, 5 million downloads in just 3 weeks. So there has been a huge revolution, right? Goldman Sachs predicts that 300 million jobs can get impacted by AI by 2030. McKinsey analysis predicts that 2030 generative AI could automate 29.5% of hours worked in the US economy, upwards of 21.9 currently. There are constantly predictions of white collar jobs being affected by ChatGPT, by generative AI. I say ChatGPT, but I mean generative AI. It's just that since they were the first on the job, they seem to have registered in my mind as well as uh, uh, as uh, as having made that, that critical difference. Generative AI. So 66% improvement in productivity has been reported by using generative AI. It has potential to deliver $13 trillion of added value to global economy by 2030. It's projected to create nearly 20 times more revenue in 2032 than it did in 2023, a 1,840% increase, right? Bill Gates said it has the potential to change the world in unimaginable ways. Elon Musk says we'll soon have an AI that is smarter than the smartest human. Andrew Karpathy, and I love this quote, and he's really a cool guy. And I follow him a lot. He said, the hottest programming language in the world right now is English, right? And what that means is that uh, there is going to be a great democratization in technology, whereas so far we have needed these high priests of language that talk to computers. The programmers, they are the conduit between the rest of society and computers. We need programmers to talk to technology firms, to talk to technology and do programming. But a lot of it will be able to do by ourselves by just talking to AI. Even now, there is a word for it, which is vibe coding, which even programmers are using. So, vibe coding is essentially when you just talk to a computer and get your programming done rather than typing anything. And you talk about large functions you want to use, the logic you want to use, and the code is sort of auto written by the AI, right? So, it's called vibe coding, and that is also something that is impacting the world. So now let's see what the fuss is about, right? So I just want to get a sense from all of you. How is it that you would like me to cover this? Um, do you want me to talk a little bit more about the concept of AI, talk about what generative AI is, how is it different from earlier AI, or do you want me to get into demos straight away? If you can just let me know in the chat box, I'll know that you're involved, and we can also uh, have that discussion. Yeah. So again, would you like me to talk about the conceptual framework of AI or do demos of how AI works? Little bit concept more.
Demos, if you're able to show,
Then,
that would be great.
sorry.
Demos, if you can able to show, that would be great.
Yes, yes, wonderful, wonderful. I will show you the demos. Yeah, great. So let me. So I think there is somebody saying demos which can show us better use demos right away. Little bit concept. Okay, fair enough. So what I'll do is I'll just give like 2 minutes to concepts. I'll move to any slides. I'll just explain the concepts in 2 minutes, and then I'll move straight away to demos, right? So yeah, so there is some demand for concepts, right? So here is what it is, right? We have had AI for a long time. Remember, Siri was AI. Google Photos, the face recognition in Google, which allows you to name people and search by photos, that is AI. In Facebook, when you use Facebook, that is also actually AI, right? In fact, I have these I think these single slides which won't take much time, so maybe I should just go through it very, very quickly. And I promise you this will not take more than a few minutes, and then we will be back to demos, right? So the important thing to remember is that AIs have been around for a while, and it's not that we are suddenly chanced upon AI and we are, finding ways to use them. Just give me a minute. I'm just finding the. Just one second. Yeah. So it's a field of science and computer science and engineering that focuses on machines that can mimic human abilities. And we have known AI for a while, but what we have known what is called narrow AI, right? Narrow AI, for example, when you get an email, who decides whether your email comes into the primary inbox, right? Or it goes into the social inbox or promotions inbox. Sometimes there is another box called updates. Who decides this? You don't decide it. It's automatically decided by AI. That's a classification algorithm. You also have recommendation algorithm. If you log into my wife's Netflix account, you will see all of these shows, which are all Korean dramas. Why is it recommending Korean dramas to her and science fiction movies to me? Because it knows her viewing patterns and my viewing patterns, and it's deciding what to recommend to us on the basis of our trends or our past behavior. Same thing for Amazon as well. It'll say things like, because you purchased this in the past, you might want to purchase this. So this is also an example of a recommendation algorithm. So there is classification algorithm, recommendation algorithm. And of course, we are all addicted to recommendation algorithms in YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X. TikTok is not available in India. But all of these are recommendation algorithms, which on the basis of your viewing patterns, recommend more stuff to you. All of this is AI. Face recognition is AI in Facebook. When you tag people on photos, it predicts who that person is. Google Photos, you can search by the photo of the person. You can label that face and then you can search by that name. All of that is possible. And voice recognition, of course, Siri, Alexa can recognize the thickest of Indian accents. All of this is AI, right? Now, how does this AI work? So essentially the way AI works is, and I think I'll just need to take 1 minute to explain this. There is a training phase. So you have a computer program which is trained with a lot of pre-existing data, which is labeled. So for example, you say that this is a dog's picture, dog, dog, dog. So you give million pictures of dog, you label all of them. This is what a dog looks like. You give it to an algorithm that looks at those millions of pictures and decides, okay, so a dog has to have a nose, it has to have a tail, it has to have ears. And then it gets more and more sophisticated and nuanced. And then slowly it starts recognizing a dog. Then it starts recognizing a cat. Then it starts recognizing a burger. Then it starts recognizing a sound or a music. Then it starts recognizing words. So usually the process that follows is there is a lot of training data on which is then used for training a machine learning algorithm. And then that algorithm, now trained on this vast data set, it now knows, kind of like humans also, we also do the same thing, right? We sometimes confuse categories. My daughter says we are in Bangalore when she comes to our home in Bangalore, but she thinks only that house is called Bangalore and not the whole city. So city is outside, but Bangalore is home. So that's a category confusion, which will get sorted out as she grows up. So machine learning algorithms also run into those kind of problems, but ultimately they get trained and they. So this is important to know. There is a training phase, then there is a testing phase, and then there is a deployment phase. This is true for all AI algorithms that are there. Now, what happens with us is what happens with generative AI. So this has been happening with all of these, right? Of this photo recognition, recommendation algorithms. We have been using this. Generative AI is different because it is trained on so much of text. Let's just keep it text now. Imagine if you train a generative AI algorithm on all the books and all the internet content and millions of blogs and articles and stuff that is out there. It is used to train an algorithm. And the thing that generative AI does different is um, instead of just doing one thing, you can give it a prompt, and in response to that prompt, it will tap into its entire body of knowledge, all the things it has learned, and it will try to produce a response, right? Pattern recognition, language comprehension and production, conceptual generalization, contextual reasoning, associative thinking, predictive inference, adaptive learning, creative generation, all of this, which we also do, it is also able to do because it has been trained on a huge data set of text, images, videos, and voice. So this is what generative AI is able to do. It's able to essentially generate, not copy, not mimic, not copy and paste, but by predicting that usually, emails are written like this. First, there is a hi this, then there is a pleasantry, then there is a task, then there is a breakdown, then there is a bullet point, then there is a warm regards. I have read millions of emails and they all look like this. So if I am asked to write an email, probably the structure should look like this. If I am asked to do attrition report, I have seen thousands and thousands of attrition reports. This is my generalized understanding of what an attrition report is like. I should do an attrition report. I have to do an SOP for HR. I have accessed millions and millions of documents of HR SOPs. On the basis of that, this is what I think a SOP as HR should look like. So this is basically what generative AI is doing. Remember, read my lips. It is generating, predicting what to generate. It is not copy pasting, right? So the content is not congruent, but similar. If you remember geometry in school, right? So therefore it might end up generating a lot of similar content, but not the same content. In fact, we can almost guarantee it's never the same content. Sometimes it's frustrating even because you want it to generate the same thing, but it won't do it. It will generate because it's freshly generating each time what is needed, right? So I think we have enough context. Let's now get into a demo, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a simple demo of chat GPT for you, and then we will take it from there, right? So let's, and I'm going to use very, very badly written prompts, right? So before that, let me also tell you GPT, chat GPT. GPT is generative, pre-trained transformer. Generative because it creates, pre-trained because it is trained on all these millions of blogs and articles and images and all whatnot, right? And transformer because it transforms what? What does it transform? Can you guess? Generative AI transforms your prompt into content, right? So that's what it is doing. It is your prompt into content. Yeah, that's right. So it's important to remember that it's generating new stuff um, on the basis of data that it is pre-trained on, and it is doing it on the basis of your prompts. So I think that is 30 minutes of context setting, 25 minutes of context setting. Now we can run the system and I can show you how it works. So let me start here, right? Since there is 12% people who have never seen it, let's start at the beginning, right? So let's do something very, very simple, right? Let's say write an email inviting HR professionals within your global organization to a one-day conference on how HR can add value, or let's suggest a better topic, right? On how generative AI can power our HR function, right? So you are organizing a conference, people from different countries will be attending, right? People from different countries will be attending. Go ahead and write the mail, right? So it's just going to write a mail. We've not provided enough details, but we have just given a sort of a simple sense. I think I chose O3. That is not needed. So these are the models actually, right? So these are the different models have different purposes. Now, this is a good moment to sort of tell you about it. 4O is a model that is great for most everyday tasks like writing emails. 4O is enough. I was earlier using O3, so O3 is selected. Therefore, this email was written by O3. O3 is for advanced reasoning. O4 Mini is fast at advanced reasoning. O4 Mini High is good at coding and visual reasoning. And there are more models. 4.5 launched with great fanfare, but it has not really delivered much of value. I also couldn't see the difference, and it's prohibitively expensive in API. 4.1 is what you use if you don't want to use 4.0 and you don't want to use O3. Okay, so let's see. Now it has written the email. Dear HR colleagues, the pace at which generative AI is reshaping the work is breathtaking. HR is right at the center of the transformation. It has given the date, 30th July 2025. Why join? See the future. It has given an agenda. It has asked you to reserve your seat by doing an RSVP and all of that. So on what basis it has also done this? Abhishek Kumar, Director, Talent and Learning Innovation, Ripple's Learning, has given my correct email ID also. Oh, no, the email ID is not correct. Know an HR teammate who would be perfect for this conversation. Feel free to forward this invite. So it has made all these decisions about how to write this email, right? Now we'll go to 4.0 and we will say something like, okay, can you, so one is it can generate text, that much we knew already. Now we will do a little few other things, right? Can you make it shorter? And can you change the tone? We are a very cool company where a lot of hipsters work, right? So, and a lot of Gen Z. So, can you speak in that language? So, essentially, what happened was we asked it to create a collateral. Now we are asking it to change the tone and change the size of the. Sure, here's a shorter, cooler, and more Gen Z friendly version of your email invite, right? Hey, HR fam, big things are happening in the world of HR, and Gen AI is leading the change. So we are throwing a one-day global jam to explore how we can actually use generative AI to level up everything we do in HR, what's happening, why you should care, see how Gen AI can make hiring onboarding way smoother, play with prompts and live sessions, hear stories. So essentially, it has changed the tone, RSVP by 10 July, and it has made it shorter, sticking to details, right? Now, what else can we do? So we change the size, we change the tone, right? Can we change something else? Yes, we can. We can change the language. Can you write the email in Hindi? Don't make it very classical Hindi. Can you make it more English, which is casual, not casual, but which is understandable, right? Yeah. So now we'll get the same mail in English. Oh, but it has written in English script, so I can stop it actually, and I will ask it to write it in Hindi script, right? So I can say, uh, write in Devanagari script. एचआर की दुनिया में बहुत कुछ बदल रहा है और जेन एआई इस पूरी मस्ती का हीरो बन चुका है, इसलिए हम ला रहे हैं एक वन डे ग्लोबल कॉन्फ्रेंस. फॉर दोज ऑफ यू अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, इट मींस दैट इट्स डन अ गुड जॉब. बेसिकली दैट्स व्हाट यू नीड टू नो. आपको क्या मिलेगा, जेन एआई कैसे रिक्रूटमेंट ऑनबोर्डिंग एलएनडी, एंड सी इट हैज यूज्ड एनफ इंग्लिश वर्ड सो दैट इट डजंट बिकम अनरीडेबल, बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डोंट नो द क्लासिकल हिंदी वर्ड्स फॉर दीज थिंग्स. So it has sort of kept it conversational. Now, what else can we do? So you see, we have so far written new content. Uh, uh, we have sort of translated. We have, but you can do more. For example, you could say, okay, let's get back to English. Write an email in the tone and language of Shakespeare inviting everyone, right? So just to show that it can mimic tones. So if it can mimic Shakespeare's tones, you can also, it can also mimic your tone. It can also mimic brand voice, especially employer branding is a big issue. Sometimes you have all these employer branding manuals which tell you what kind of a voice, what kind of a tone, what kind of words to use while talking to your employees. And that sometimes all of it just goes to waste. So here we can use it. If you train a GPT on it, it will write using that language. In fact, it's one of the most important use cases because it gets toned down a pat. So we can use it here. Dearest fellow of the honorable, lend me thy ears, for I bring tidings most extraordinary. So it can mimic tone very well, right? It can also brainstorm and do idea generation. So for example, can you suggest 5 new ideas for this conference, which will be wacky and cool and make the conference memorable, right? So let's do a quick summary of what we have done, right? We generated a collateral, we changed its size, we changed its tone, we changed its language, we changed its writing style, and now we are using it to generate ideas, right? The AI confession booth, Prompt Wars HR Edition, a live fast-paced game show where teams battle it out in a prompt off, give them HR challenges, 3 future Hall of Fame, 2040 exhibits. Such a cool idea. Create a mock museum of the future with imaginary HR tools and practices of year 2040. Such a cool idea, right? I love this idea. For HR Mad Libs, reverse mentoring circle, all of that, right? So now let's say we have um, Prompt Wars HR edition. Let's just say, what is create a detailed sheet on how to run Prompt Wars HR edition, right? For the user as well as the organizers, right? So we are asking it to create the game now, right? So on the basis of thousands of games that it has seen and run in conferences, we are asking it to create a game for the, so this is the master sheet for the organizer, right? So this is 60 to 75 minute game, 4 to 6 teams, 2 to 4 members each, 3 to 4 creative rounds with increasing difficulty, tech needed, pre-session setup, all of that, right? So essentially, so while it is doing that work, just a quick preview of what else it can do, right? It can create original images or art, things which have never been seen before. It can synthesize ideas and data. It can summarize huge documents into smaller parts. It can convert big paragraphs into bullets and bullets into big paragraphs. Can develop storylines, narratives, video scripts, storyboards, videos, voice and style, all of that, right? So it can do all of that, and we have here around ideas. So you can see rejection letter, remix. So now it has created the games, right? So for participants, it's still creating for participants. So friends, while it is doing that, I'll be happy to take any questions that you have. I'm just looking into the chat as well. If there are any questions, there are none. So feel free to unmute and talk to me about what you've seen so far. And if you have any specific questions, I'll be very, very happy to answer them. We still have time. So I think we'll be able to cover more ground. And this is just an introduction to the tool because there are some people who have not seen the tool at all, never used it. So this was mainly for them, but there is a lot more possibilities are there. Anything you would like to ask? I'm just pausing the session here to take 2 or 3 questions before I proceed with the demo. And I have a few more demos to do, which might be relevant to you. Yes, friends.
Yeah, Abhishek, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
So, is there any principle behind setting this prompt?
Yes, so actually prompting is an art and it's very, very important to do it right. I'm sort of not really following any system right now because I'm just doing something quick and dirty to do a demo. But actually, when you have actual work and you have actual things to do, then you might want to be more careful about how you prompt. But I also must tell you that there is no syntax, unlike programming, where you have to, like, there is no syntax where you have to say, do say this first and that first. Yeah, there are some best practices, but most of this is optimized for language for natural language. It's called NLP, natural language processing. So it will understand natural language. There. Okay, so here is the truth, my friend. What I feel is that if you communicate well, there are some people who delegate very well. Leaders who will explain the context, explain the situation, give exact instructions to their subordinates, and they will go and do the job well. If you are good at communication and good at delegation, you will naturally be good at prompt engineering, right? But there are so many techniques for prompt engineering. In our certification, we teach more than 10 techniques for prompt engineering. There is persona prompting, reflection prompting, chain of thought prompting. There is uh, 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 yeah, I mean, there are a whole bunch of things that I have myself recorded. So there's like 10, 15 techniques we teach. All of them help your prompts become better, right? I
What
hope that
about
answers your question.
video and image? Suppose text is
Yes.
fine,
Yes, it will
but
generate video and image as well. So what I'll do is I'll just give an image generation prompt and then I'll come to Jeevan and then Ketki. Yeah.
so this is done in which version?
This is I'm going to do it in ChatGPT itself. So I'll say create an image for create an image. Let's say create a poster. Let's say create a poster with a very futuristic sci-fi look and feel for this conference, right? I mean an image, right? So I'm just going to, you must have seen the Ghibli craze. Did you guys all see the Ghibli craze that was happening in the world a few weeks ago? Isn't it? Where everybody was
Yes.
converting their images into Ghibli. So that
Yes,
you can
yes,
do that
correct.
here. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it'll create images. It'll also create video. In fact, video, guys, I cannot tell you. I mean, I'll probably show you that video. This has just happened 2 days ago, the VEO3 launch by Google, and it's absolutely incredible and mind blowing. We'll watch it today. I'll show it to you. It's unbelievable, right? But before that, let me go to Jeevan and then to Ketki. Yes, Jeevan, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Abhishek. Quick question. I am part of the 42% who kind of use this AI on a daily basis, multiple hours. So, my question is, in this masterclass, would you be talking or showing demo about the AI tools specific to HR? Because that's what I thought the masterclass was about. Or would you be just talking generic about AI and the different tools? Because most of the tools like video editing and creating and prompts and all those things are a lot of people who do this use it on a daily basis, including writing blogs and all those things. So specific to HR, are there any tools that you would be showing us today and how we can use that?
Yeah, I mean, the answer to your question, Jeevan, is that there are tools specific to HR, but the larger implementations we are seeing. So here is what's happening in the AI industry. I'll just show that to you. But see, this is the image that it has generated, right? How generative AI can power our HR function. It has generated uh, this image, and we can also edit this image. We can make changes to it, and I'll show that in a minute. But before that, let me just quickly answer Jeevan's question. So Jeevan, here is what is happening in the AI world, right? The core technology is being driven by LLMs, right? The large language models, and there are and there is sort of a cutthroat competition happening there between Google and OpenAI and Claude and a few others, right? Meta is slightly lagging behind. DeepSeek is a new Chinese entrant. So if you have a specific HR use case, you can ultimately what you will do is you will build a wrapper on top of this technology, because the technology is like for example, O3, which I was showing you earlier. The model O3 is the highest in reasoning right now in the world, right? O3 is the highest level of advanced reasoning intellectual capability available in the world. So it's possible for, if you're a tech company or if you're a startup, it's possible to build a wrapper on top of this, which will do specific HR stuff, right? Which many companies are there. There are thousands of companies, and I can tell you where to find hundreds of different types of software. But the fundamental problem is that the reasoning stops at O3. Now O3 is available. O3 now the business model of OpenAI is that OpenAI will sell its API calls to these startups who have built a wrapper on top of ChatGPT and are selling some kind of an HR product. So it makes, and they will be paying OpenAI, and then you will be paying them. So essentially, you are paying them, they are paying OpenAI, and your usage and the freedom you have is slightly more restricted in the case of a special use case for HR software than if you just dealt with ChatGPT or Google Gemini directly, right? So most of the use cases that I'm seeing, even in big, large organizations, for tools like Copilot or ChatGPT, is for people to have direct access to to Copilot or to ChatGPT, and then build GPTs within them. And these GPTs are your specific HR use case GPTs. So in this training, in this masterclass, I will show you how to you build a special use case GPT for an HR function. And I can point you to the direction where you can scour through the hundreds and thousands of different HR softwares that are available. But we will not be looking at it in detail simply because it doesn't serve us. Because all of that is technology which is limited by the amount of money that that particular startup has, which is using that software. And in my opinion, and I think in general, what I see the trend in the world as well is to just directly deal with OpenAI, directly deal with Microsoft, directly deal with Google, and create GPTs in ChatGPT and Copilot, and create gems in Google. They are the same thing, specific custom bots or specific custom GPTs built for a specific purpose, which could be HR. So I hope that answers your question, Jeevan. Yeah. Yes, Ketki.
Sure. Thank you, Abhishek. Abhishek, I have basically three questions. So one is coming to the prompt question, so because you need to articulate for the prompt when generating prompts for ChatGPT. In fact, we found out a tool that would help us to create prompts.
Yeah.
So that's called as a lazy prompt, and then it helps you articulate the prompt.
Yeah.
I can give it the tool name. So I came across this prompt cowboy.ai, but there are a few other prompt tools as well.
Yeah.
Again, same to the previous person who had asked the question. I do fall in that category wherein I am 42%, and I use ChatGPT almost every day. I would also like to understand that while you are holding up this session for generative AI for HR, what are your thoughts, or what do you think is there a possibility that we can have AI agents um, generated for HR purpose that we can actually start using or implementing in our daily HR operations work,
Yes.
or as a HR talent acquisition as well?
Yes, you
And
can.
how do we get there actually?
Yeah. So, I mean, for example, if you are looking at, I don't want to overwhelm. So I will show you something called Cassidy. So then there are two things that the group wants to try. One is how to build a GPT, which is a custom case for HR use case. Maybe I can demo that. And one more is how do you build a agent, right? An agent that can do like, let us say, a sequence of tasks for you over a period of time, and maybe on command, and maybe in a scheduled manner. Every morning you want to do something, or something like that. So those two things we can accomplish both of them. And I'll be happy to demo that for you as well. I think, Jeevan, you also might find that interesting, right?
So,
What was your third question?
sorry, sorry, Abhishek. Following to that, I would also like to understand is if we could have an automated system created for responding over Slack.
Automated system for, I'm sorry, I didn't get that word. Automated system for what? I'm sorry, can you guys hear her? I think we lost her. Ketki,
We
we
lost
can't
her.
hear you. Yeah, we can't hear her, right?
No, we can't hear.
Okay. So we'll wait for her to come back. I think she got logged out as well. So we'll wait for her to come back. Meanwhile, let's go back here and we will look at our photo image that it has generated, and we can see you can make some changes here basically, right? You can open this in edit mode and then you can ask it to make some changes. For example, you could say one-day conference, uh, or you could select this person here and say that make another request essentially, right? Can you make the image of a woman, right? So that's a thing we can change. So let's see if it changes that, and then we can of course say make it more friendly, make it like a cartoon, make it like this, make it like that, and it can do all of that. We can say make it Ghibli because Ghibli is the rage, and it will make it Ghibli, right? Yeah, Ketki. If you're back, you can just unmute and ask your third question.
Yeah, sorry about that. My third question was with reference to if we could have any of these agents or to get it connected with the internal communication channels such as Slack, if we have, like we have for our organization,
For Slack.
yes, wherein we can have automated messages sent out, or
I think Cassidy has an integration with Slack, though I might not be right. But
don't we also have N8N for creating AI?
N8N is good. Yeah, N8N. In fact, you also have an open source version which I think you can install in your own system, right? You can host it. Just today I was reading about it, that N8N has a version where you can host it in your own server. So yeah, if you are looking at N8N, it can, but I'm not sure if N8N can do Slack, but if it can, then that's a great solution to have. Right? All right, great. So yeah, so this is still making that slow change. So we will wait for it. But any other questions? Any other questions that you have? No. In fact, I think I have an example for you. Let me just look. Yeah, go ahead. Any questions? Please go ahead and ask.
So, hi, this is Manoj.
Yeah.
So the new HRMSs which are coming in the field now, they are more and more selling their products on the basis of what AI features they have brought in.
Yeah.
So linking LinkedIn or job portals and making a job match search, or making a JDs for you, or having predefined reports or prompts which were not there earlier in the system. So even though these HRMSs are coming up, they are making the operational activity more easier, and the day-to-day routine things more easier for you. But still there is a lot of demand in terms of from human resources as a function where they should use AI on the strategic basis. Now, this is a big question mark. So, I mean, when you started saying the session, you said, the buzzword is killing a lot of people. Likewise, when the typewriters came, a lot of people thought that, their job will get redundant. But it was the skill enhancement which took the lead and people could go ahead. When the computers also came, the typewriters thought that our jobs will go, because it was not that way, but it was the skill. So from this point of view, what is the skill enhancement HR professionals should get into? Because we are subject matter experts, no doubt about that, but what is the skill enhancement we should get into so that, apart from the routine operational HR, how AI can help HR people on the strategic part of it?
Yeah, the shorter answer to that question is that this is precisely why. The first part of your answer is that I do agree with you that it's not. I think it's people view it as a fixed pie. Like these are the jobs, and these are the jobs that are being done by humans, and now these jobs will be done by AI, and therefore human jobs will go. But I think this math is not as simple as that, because what happens with the invention of any new technology is that the whole pie expands actually, right? So what is possible expands. Uh, the speed of work gets faster, productivity increases, more things become possible, things get easier, new targets, new goals, new benchmarks arise, new possibilities arise. And of course, a part of that is being up to date, being skilled to be able to take advantage of these new changes that are happening. In fact, there is some skill arbitration advantage over there, because if you are ahead, if you know more about these developments that are happening,
Absolutely.
you're
You,
able
you,
to.
you, you said it absolutely the right word. How can we take advantage of this by enhancing the skill? Because subject matter expertise is there for all the people, those who have, I'm sure I see a lot of mature HR people over here.
Yeah.
So skill matters, so subject matter expert we are. How can we take advantage? How can we take the advantage? You use the right word of this new technology, and what sort of skills one need to enhance so that we can take advantage of this.
Sure, Manoj. So I'll tell you. I was going to discuss this at the end of the workshop, not right now. But since this question is so pertinent and you're raising it so sort of vigorously, let me just quickly answer that. One, it is important to skill yourself. It is important to be aware of the developments that are happening. And one possible solution for that is to ensure that you get a certification or get a training in this area. And that is precisely what we offer. We are certified human resource management professional, and we have a 3-month certification in generative AI for HR professionals, which is focused specifically on HR professionals. And where we, so again, to sort of answer Jeevan's question, which was that what about HR software? So I have an example of an HR software here. Let me just find it. There it is. So I'll just show it to you. Yeah. So this is an example of a specific HR software, right? Now, this is an AI interviewer who will conduct the first few rounds of the hiring, right? Of the initial rounds, right? So hire a perfect fit employee with 10 AI interviewers, and then they have given, so this is the AI interviewer, this is the interviewee, they'll do a video interview. You can essentially feed the questions, and then the questions can be understood and analyzed by the AI interviewer. And then you can, go for this kind of a solution in your company to reduce the recruitment cycle time, to deal with bulk hiring, to if you have hundreds and thousands of candidates, this can help you save some time. So this is one example. There are tools like there is an AI for that, which help you identify different types of tools. But it is very important to understand, and this is something I do want to emphasize, that we should not get lost in a forest of tools, because a tool is, we have to look at the technology, what the technology can accomplish. If the technology is able to accomplish advanced reasoning, if the technology is able to accomplish data analysis, if the technology is able to accomplish, let us say, storyboarding and video creation, and we are able to do that translation in multiple languages, then that is the important thing to know, rather than which software does what, because that is a rabbit hole, and there are millions of tools doing millions of different things, everyone selling something. But right now we are at the very edge of a technology that is developing and changing every single day. So it's important to know what is the fundamentals of what the technology can do, and then you can find a way to deploy it. Then it's more about finding a vendor who can use the technology to give you what you want, or finding the right solution to give you what you want, but you have to understand what is possible in the context of HR with the existing technology, which is also changing shape every few months, right? And I'll give you an example of that in video. The shorter answer to your question, Manoj, is sorry to sort of pitch this in the middle. This was supposed to be the end, but we have a certification in generative AI, which you can use to upskill yourself. It's a 7 week certification, and then you have another month to submit your capstone project. So essentially, we introduce you to AI tools, prompt engineering, you build a generative AI chatbot, and then we have something called the idea model, which is about strategic HR. So for example, if you are talking about idea model, it's really about, in fact, it's not even about strategic HR. It's about using AI to imagine a project and then execute that project to the last letter, right? To the last bit. And this whole process is done by using about 98 to 99% of AI. 1% human intervention is required, where you have to sort of make a decision or give a direction to the AI. But this whole process is, this whole project is imagined and executed by AI. So this is the 7 week certification plus 1 month for the capstone project that we have in our generative AI certification. We also look at various tools, but like I said, it's more important to be technology conversant rather than tool heavy, because otherwise tools can just do a lot of things. But yeah, there are some, like for example, ChatGPT and Perplexity are different tools and they serve different purposes. So it's important to know where is ChatGPT more useful and where Perplexity is more useful. So that's a fundamental difference. Copilot, for example, if you're a Microsoft heavy company, then Copilot makes more sense. Notebook LM is absolutely a brilliant tool, mind blowing. If you don't know about it, you should explore it. Maybe I can do a demo of it as well. It's absolutely wonderful. Then you have Gamma, which is used for presentations, HeyGen, which is used for video, 11 Labs, which is used for audio. All of these introductions, Napkin AI, very, very good one for visual AI. So these are, for example, what Napkin AI can do, ChatGPT can't do. So we want to teach you Napkin AI. What 11 Labs can do, ChatGPT can't do, or Copilot can't do. So you should learn about it. What HeyGen can do, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot cannot do. So you have to see, because these are different people, different leading firms exploring the limits of the technology in their own domains. So we introduce you to them. And then ultimately, the magic, my friends, will happen in using these sort of different things that are possible and putting them together in a workflow for your organization, which is able to deploy like a custom solution of some sort. If you have the authority in your organization to do it, then you should definitely attempt that kind of a move, because it will really, really be a new thing in the organization. It will look great on your CV. It will be awesome. And that's what the idea project is essentially. When we do the idea project, we essentially encourage you to create take a real problem in your organization. If for example you're working, if you're not working, then you just take the problem closest to the kind of job you want to have, take that problem and then drill down till you find. So the idea is not just to do idea generation and idea evaluation, but execute it, do the last checklist, do the last SOP, ensure it gets implemented, and then analyze the data and analyze the results that the implementation of your project creates, and then analyze all of that. And that's how you get the certification. So this is one way to upskill yourself. It's a capstone project leads to the certification. 70% of your credit is in capstone project. 30% is in your attendance and written exam. But the certification criteria is 60%. So if you do a good capstone project, you get certified right away. There is no certification without the capstone project, because remember, in some ways, the skill of AI, generative AI, is actually like Microsoft Excel or Microsoft PowerPoint. You have got to be able to do stuff. Just talking about the concept of AI or how it will lead to hyper personalization and how it will lead to shorter onboarding cycles and all of that. Everybody is doing that. If you open any of these what do you call them, group discussions or these conferences. In fact, I was at the NHRD national conference just when it happened a couple of months ago, and I was one of the speakers and a panel member. And the same questions kept coming up. And we are all talking about the same things. Hyper personalization will happen, L&D will get impacted, content creation will be transformed, hiring journeys will be transformed, in-house training will be transformed. But how will all this happen? Like those real skills are not present, right? Even in speakers, they are not present, right? Even people who are waxing eloquent about all of these wonderful changes that are going to happen, how will it happen actually is a skill that is missing. So we focus exclusively on what you can do to create outcomes, actual outcomes, by using generative AI tools and technologies that exist right now, right? Yes.
Kaushik, I have one more question,
Yes.
I'm sure many could relate to this. So HR is always under the pressure of keeping things confidential, keeping things within the organization confidential, within the team also sometimes confidential.
Yeah.
This open platform where we ask questions, where we put data and things, how secure or how can we make it that it doesn't gets leaked or it doesn't gives any kind of information outside the organization?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Because currently these all platforms are open platforms. I mean, they don't even ask you to log in. They just ask you to put the information and then it start giving you answers and everything, blah, 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 and all the stuff. So as an HR professions, how can we make sure that these are kept confidential or these are,
Sure. So I think the first thing that you can do is change. Just to sort of be clear, that this was a big concern when ChatGPT initially launched, and then we had Copilot launched almost a few months later. But this is not a concern right now because all of these companies are offering enterprise grade security. They're offering team plans. They're offering enterprise plans, and you can go and you can use those plans for your security. I'll just give you a quick example of of uh, one small thing that all of you can do right now to improve the security of your chat GPT conversations is just click on your name on top right corner, go to settings, remember that settings, go to data controls. So your name, settings, data controls, and there you will find this setting, improve the model for everyone. Switch it off. It should not be on, right? So if you switch it off, it ensures that your data is not being used to train chat GPT. I think even in the free account, you can turn it off, right? So remember, go to your photo, click on it, go to your username, click on it, go to settings, go to data controls, and turn off this setting called improve the model for everyone. And that will take care of a privacy issue from your personal account. From a team account, you have other options available as well. So let me quickly show you what a team account looks like. This is what a team account might look like. So this is essentially, so this is in fact an account that all the students who have our generative AI certification, they get a chat GPT account for the duration of their course to practice various things. So you can see here Gen AI for HR. This is the link. This is the account that they have. And as you can see here, we can manage this workspace. And here you have all of these different accounts that are there. And how it will matter is very interestingly that you can create GPTs. Now, we have not really discussed what GPTs are, but let me quickly show you how GPTs work. So when you create GPTs, you have GPT is essentially a custom chat GPT, a chat GPT built for a specific purpose. For example, you can, just to give you an example, these are some of the GPTs that have been created by our students in the past. These are all people who have done the certification. So you have conference and workshop manager, employee secure, workplace assistant, hiring process guide, HR checklist champion, labor law guide, NCT, student counseling guide, coach me, corporate email assistant, HR navigator, HR policy maker. These are all things that previous certification batches have done, tax advisor, HR expert, HR formats. So you can create any and of course there will be, I'm guessing, hundreds, because so many people have gone through this course. So there will be so many different kinds of things that are there. But here, when you create a GPT, you can share a GPT only within your organization. So this also ensures that, for example, the custom chat GPT that you're creating for your organization, which is trained on your private data and not the entire internet, is only shared with members of your organization, which is a great facility to have, because it means that you have a custom workflow trained of chat GPT, trained on your data, following your explicit training in both content and behavior, which is following, for example, an employer branding guideline, and it is following your HR policy process and manual. It knows your HR policy, it understands your HR policy, it remembers your HR policy, and it is answering from your HR policy. It remembers all that, and it is able to give custom responses. So that is something that is possible in a Teams account. Similarly, in an enterprise account, all of this will be happening at a larger scale. So security is not a concern. Even in a private account, you can turn off training for everyone. And in team accounts and enterprise accounts, you have all kinds of possibilities to share stuff within your organization. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to our examples. Yeah. So I think I also have on chat somebody saying, just a suggestion, if you can complete the demo and then take questions, please, in interest of time. Yeah, sure. Don't worry. I will do the demos and I'll show you all the demos. Can you please come to the demos of the app related to generative AI and please solve the individual questions? Yeah, sure. But I think these questions are also valuable because they do give a sense of perspective to the whole thing. Okay, great. So now you can see it has replaced that image of a man by the image of a woman. Now, this is one part of what generative AI can do. You can also talk to it, for example. So let's just see if we can have a conversation. And I'll just need to share sound for that. And yeah, let's have a new chat. And just let me know if you can hear me. Yeah. Hi, I am here talking about generative AI to a group of HR professionals who are very interested in the topic, chat, and I just wanted you to say hi to all of them in a very, very enthusiastic way.
Hello, everyone. It's fantastic to meet such a passionate group of HR professionals eager to explore the transformative power of generative AI. I'm excited to dive into this journey with you all. Let's make this session enlightening and fun.
All right. Now, I'm not talking to AI right now. I'm talking to the rest of you. Could you hear the response, everyone? Yes?
Yes,
Everyone
yes.
could hear it, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So, great. Chat, Ankur and Madhuri are here. They were excited to hear you talk to them. So, they are saying that I'm talking about generative AI in HR. Can you talk a little bit about, very, very briefly, but talk about how generative AI is likely to impact L&D, for example, learning and development में क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला है generative AI से?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Generative AI is set to revolutionize learning and development by personalizing learning experiences and creating content tailored to individual needs. It can help design interactive training modules, generate realistic scenarios for roleplay, and even provide real-time feedback to
Oh,
learners.
but I don't get it. Like, how will that actually impact an LMS? What would that LMS look like where all of this is happening? Isn't LMS supposed to host static content which you're supposed to go through? Then ये सब कैसे होगा?
Great question. Generative AI can transform an LMS by making it dynamic and adaptive. Instead of just hosting static content, it can create personalized learning paths based on individual progress and preferences. It can generate new content on demand, offer simulations, and provide interactive quizzes that adapt to the learner's performance. This creates a more engaging and
No, but
effective
all
learning.
this adaptive learning and all is already there. So what is going to be so special about adaptive learning with generative AI?
The key difference with generative AI is its ability to create highly personalized content in real time. It doesn't just adapt existing materials, but can generate new customized learning experiences based on
For
the
example,
learner's
what?
specific
Like
need.
if I am a manufacturing executive, then it will generate manufacturing case studies for me. And if somebody else is a IT services executive, it will generate IT service case studies for them on the fly, right at the time of them accessing the content. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Generative AI can generate content specific to your role and industry in real time. For example, if you're in manufacturing, it can create case studies and simulations relevant to your field. If someone else is in IT services, it can tailor content to fit that context. This makes the learning experience much more relevant and effective.
Okay. Okay. Any
You're
questions?
welcome.
Any questions from you guys? Anything you guys would like to ask? Okay. Okay, great. So see, this is a feature that is available, which is essentially voice. And if you notice how seamless that is, right? So I'm able to interrupt, I'm able to talk over it, I'm able to sort of challenge it, and it takes all of that in response. There is no waiting period like what you have with Siri. There is no issue of it only understands single sentences. It can understand big, complete, complex sentences. And in fact, I use this to bring out a very important aspect of L&D, which everyone is talking about, which is hyper personalization, which is exactly the LMS of future that you can imagine, where every user can have hyper personalized content delivered to them, which is unique and which fits their learning needs. And on the basis of the path that they're on, new content, new examples, new case studies, new quizzes, new videos, new kind of chat assistance could be provided specific to that learner, right? So that would be a huge change in the way the current LMSs are providing content, which is mostly what they've been doing for a long time, right? All right. Well, on that note, let me quickly go to another demo, which is a GPT. So what is GPT? So no. So let me quickly show you an example of data analysis, right? So now you have all this information about text. We are able to do a lot of manipulation with text. But the question is, are we also able to do this with data, right? So we do have data analysis available in these tools. And over a period of time, they have gotten better at it. Though I would still not say that this is something that they can be trusted with completely data analysis. So I would be careful before using them for a lot of very serious kind of data. But definitely some kind of data, some kind of basic data analysis they can do. Even within Excel, these options are available where they can do this kind of data analysis. So let me quickly show you an example of a data analysis being done, right? So just give me a minute and I will organize it for you. Okay, just give me a minute. I'm just going to find the file. But before that, so I'll do that in the interim, and I'll come back and show you the data analysis. But before that, let me quickly show you the GPTs and what they do. Right now, what are GPTs? Does anybody here know what GPTs are? Is anybody using them? Can you give me an example of how you are using GPTs? Maybe one of the 42% who are using it actively. Jeevan, Ketki, are you guys using GPTs for anything? Can you tell me what are you using them for? Yes.
I sometimes use it for blogs as well. So,
So
what do you say?
have you created a GPT?
No, I've not created a GPT. But
Okay. So you're using one of the existing GPTs for blogs
Yeah,
to create blogs.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Hi, I use for content because I'm also into business development execute along with HR. So I use for communication purpose, like appreciation letters for the employees engagement activities, planning for them. For that, I use mostly the
Wonderful.
GPTs.
And Lalita, you're using GPTs. Are you also creating these GPTs?
No, actually, I'm using that now. Already available GPTs, but I
Already
want
available.
to create one. Actually, I want to create of my own, so
Yes.
that it can use it for the further purpose. So again, uh, prompting it takes time, so it will use for not reducing my time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. So, friends, I mean, a GPT is basically a custom case of Chat GPT, right? Chat GPT is trained on the entire internet. A GPT is something that is only trained on your data, right? So, for example, here is Chavi, an online employee that we have in CHRMP. CHRMP brand manager. You can see I have only created a expert in CHRMP brand storytelling, specializing in HR certification programs. She can tell us about HRBP advanced program. We have a competency mapping program. We have a POSH certification. We have HR analytics certification. And of course, we have generative AI certification that I just told you about. Now, this Chavi is trained specifically on our data. She's not going to look at the whole world and search the whole internet and then give you random generic responses. She's going to tell us only about our company, because it is trained on our data and our style. So, for example, if I said, can you tell me what are the key strengths of our HR analytics certification? So if you said this to HR, to ChatGPT wouldn't know what do we mean by our HR analytics certification, right? But Chavi knows, because we have the CHRMP HR analytics certification stands out with several key strengths, practical and industry oriented curriculum. So now it's writing on that. So you see, this is the advantage, because now a GPT is something you can create based on your data, and then you can get answers which are much more relevant, much more better than using a generic Chat GPT. So this was the next part. Dr. Dev Brata is saying how to prepare a GPT is not clear. Yes, I have not discussed it. I'm just discussing what is a GPT. And to prepare a GPT, for example, if you want to create your own GPT, by the way, a lot of things that I'm talking about are on the paid plan, and we do give you a paid account when you sign up for our certification. So you will be able to do all of these things when you have access to that. But let's talk about how the GPT is created, right? So now this GPT is only going to talk about our company. What are the kind of GPTs you can build? You can build, for example, this is a JD creator, right? So let's see if this JD creator has been built properly. We will just say HR manager at Infosys, right? And we'll see what it does. It is a JD creator, so it should be building a JD and nothing else, right? So yeah, you can see it is creating a JD, job title, location, department, reporting to experience. And in creating this JD, it is exactly following our format. So this is a format we have given: job title, location, department, reporting to. Remember, if we said this risk overview, role overview, key responsibilities, right? It's saying utilize descriptive diagnostic lead. And see here also, every responsibility is beginning with a verb, right? So this is something that it is trained on. We have given it instructions that this is what you should do when you are creating a GPT, when you are creating a JD. If we said this HR manager at Infosys to normal Chat GPT and not to a GPT, which is JD creator, which we have created, it would not know what to do, right? It would be like, what are you talking about, right? If you are looking for information about HR manager role at Infosys, here are several possible angles. So this is the difference between, oh, so it also sort of got into JD, but this was quite by chance, right? It did, or maybe from my previous conversation, it thought I need that, right? But you see the way it has written skills required, strong communication, interpersonal skills, experience in HR analytics, all of that, right? It's talking about several things, but it's not talking about the JD. But a JD creator will only talk about JD. And on what basis is it creating that? So we can go and see. this GPT is trained on this PDF, right? Which talks about how the GPT has to be created. And it is basically following that template to create the GPT. And of course, I mean, this is a very simple GPT that I must have tried early on. But here is another employee we have, Sandesh, CHRMP social media copilot. It writes posts. So write a post about CHRMP generative AI masterclass for LinkedIn, right? So now it is already trained in our brand voice, our key positioning, all of those other marketing stuff. So it will know what to write about it, right? Your HR skills about to go full Iron Man mode. And so it is writing in a hilarious manner. I don't know why. Maybe somebody has edited its code. So we need to see why it is doing that. Sandesh CHR. So this is the instruction it has. Will integrate CHRMP brand voice elements into every interaction, empowering insightful communication. Mitra will maintain decisively professional tone, combining this, that. Right. So basically, you can, this is an example. So to answer the question that was earlier being asked, this is how you create a GPT, right? You go to your GPT section, this is the GPT section where you search for GPTs. When you have a paid account, the create button is enabled. You click on create, you go to create, and then you start talking to it and you start creating your GPT. And then you attach files and you give it superpowers. Should it be able to search web? Should it have Canvas? Should it have Foro? All of those things it's able to do. Now, this is as far as Chat GPT and GPTs are concerned. Now, let me quickly do a demo of Perplexity for you. And Perplexity is another powerful tool. It's different from Chat GPT, and it's more of a research tool, right? So, for example, Chat GPT is likely to replace content writing and reasoning, but Perplexity is likely to replace research for you. So if there is anything you want to research, then Perplexity is much, much better than Google. So what I'll do is I'll just run two parallel searches for you, one in Google and one in Perplexity, right? So let's do that, right? So let's see 5 best vendors for HRIS in India with a focus on learning and development, which allow you to host your own video courses, but also do other HR things like attendance and performance management, right? So I'm typing a complicated prompt for Google, and let's see. I think Google also has AI integrated now, so it was likely to give an AI answer. No, it didn't. So all-in-one HR system. This is an ad. This is an ad. This is an ad. And then there is an AI overview. 5 strong HI vendors in India are all of this. And then it has given you all these different website names, Forbes. So you can see, right? This is the response you get on Google. Hundreds and thousands of blue links which point to other stuff. And now let's put the exactly same prompt in Perplexity, right? And search. Let's see what we get. So it's given us an answer, right? So there are sources. There are 22 sources, just like Google gives you only sources, right? Only links. So there are the 22 sources which it has used. It has searched the internet, but found out these responses for you. Zoho people, people strong, people hum, Akrivia HCM, and Zing HR. And all of these, it has given you. Zoho people features a built-in LMS. Other HR functions, platform allows you robust modules for attendance, best for small to large businesses, people strong. It has given an analysis for each of these software. So you can see which of these is giving you, and see, it has also included a table, and it's telling you, can you host your own video courses? Can you manage attendance? Does it have performance management? Does it have payroll? What other modules are there? Who is it best for? And all of this information, and you can download it as a image, or you can download it as a. So basically, this is so much better than what a traditional Google search would be like, where you have to sort of.
On what basis is this showing these vendors?
Yeah, so it's showing these vendors on this basis, right? So it's done this research of these 22 links. It's basically, you can think of it like this. What would you do? You would go to Google, search for all of this, and then when you compile information from Google, it would look like this, right? So it's basically doing that part for you. It's searching Google, reading the first 10 or 15 relevant links, reading through the text, taking all that information, organizing it, and presenting a report to you, right? So this is precisely what you, and for example, so that's a good question you asked. So what is your, like, do you have a preference here? Is there a follow-up question you want to ask? Let's ask a follow-up question, right? Which you can't do in Google, by the way. So for example, what could be a follow-up question?
Along with this, they should have analytical tool.
Yeah. Along with this, they should have an HR analytics module or powerful analytics capabilities, right?
Powered by Power BI.
Which could be connected to Power BI, right? Would you like to revise your recommendations on the basis of this, right? So if we ask this, if we go to Google with this follow-up question, there is nowhere to put this question, right? If we use the main search box, it's a dumb thing, right? It is giving us information about Power BI. It doesn't know the previous search. Here, we have the concept of a follow-up question. Now, this Perplexity will perfectly understand what we are saying. It will connect it to the previous answer it has given, and then it will give us a new answer, right? So now see, it has evaluated these 10 sources and it comes back with Zoho people, people strong, Darwin box is now included, people hum, Akrivia HCM, and then again it has included Power BI integration. Zoho people, yes, people strong, yes, people hum, yes, Akrivia HCM, yes. So all of these sort of responses it has given, keeping this mind. Now we could go further. We could say we want an LMS that would be available in local languages as well, right? And should have an Android app, right? So basically, you can keep sort of narrowing down your research, go deeper and deeper into it, and it'll help you with that, right? So now it has Android app, local language support. Yes, Hindi, Bengali, Kannada, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu for Rocket, Pocket. So now see, it has again changed its responses. Darwin Box, Pulse HRM, Paradiso LMS. So this is a whole new way of researching. Now this thing, what we are doing right now, Chat GPT wouldn't be really good at it actually, right? Because what would happen with Chat GPT is it's good for sort of content creation and researching. It does have a search function, but it's not really that good. It's not very mature. So if you want to, so the way I would recommend you use the tools is if you are planning to use, if you're planning to just use reasoning, thinking, mental ability, content creation, writing, analytical thinking, use ChatGPT. But if you're planning to use research, if research is a big component of what you're doing, you want to search the internet and find out solutions and this and that and compare things and all of that, you should use Perplexity, right? In fact, I think what has happened with me, and I think for millions of other users over the world, is for example, right now, I only visit Google to find Google Maps links or phone numbers and stuff like that, right? Even phone number, I think once I found a phone, I was doing some research and I found a phone number more easily through Perplexity than through Google, because you can talk to Perplexity and explain it to you what you need and why you need it and where you need it and what you will use it for, and it will keep all of those things in mind and then do the research and then give you the solution that you're looking for. So it's just basically more intelligent way to search and get that information. So yeah, so that's one very, very important tool which you can use. And then of course, so those are two tools we have looked at. Another tool that I will look at is very, very powerful tool. But before that, any questions about Perplexity, friends, or ChatGPT, whatever we have looked at so far? So ChatGPT, we looked at various flexibilities that ChatGPT has in terms of creating content, images, language, translation, style, tone, grammar, all of that, right? Plus, there are hundreds of other things which I'm not able to touch because there is not enough time, but which we are able to touch in our certification program. I also looked at Perplexity. Perplexity is essentially intelligent search, right? What you do in search is you search, you get thousands of blue links. You click those blue links, you have to read through all that content. There's a whole industry of people who are trying to get to the top of your search results. You go through those, put all of that together in your mind or in a Word document, compare all of that manually, do that. And Perplexity just does all of that for you. So it's a much, much better tool. Any questions about this? Anything you would like to ask?
No.
All right. Let's. Yes. Was there a question?
No.
Okay, sure. So let's quickly look at Notebook LLM, which is again a wonderful, fantastic tool, right? It's absolutely a brilliant tool. If you're not familiar with it, it looks rather magical. So for example, what you do here is it's kind of like GPT, and this is free. Like you don't need a paid account for this. Notebooklm.google is the link, right? Notebooklm.google. So you go here, you can let us say I want to say I create a new notebook. So you create a new notebook. When you do that, it asks you to upload sources. And remember, these sources could be anything. You could upload a PDF file, text file, markdown, audio. You could put website links. You could put YouTube links. You could just paste a lot of text inside this, right? You can connect it to a Google Doc, to a Google slide. Basically, things you can upload here. I think you can't upload an Excel file, right? Doesn't look like. And you can upload up to 300 things you can upload. So you can upload a combination of YouTube videos, Google Docs, a PDF, text, copied text, Google Slides, upload all of that, and then you can chat with all of that together, right? So it's absolutely brilliant tool. I don't know why Google has not really marketed this better, but let's see what is happening here, right? So for example, we'll look at this competency mapping. So you can see here in this competency mapping notebook, what I have done is I have added all of these. This is a video which we have a webinar we have done on competency indicators. And then I've added a lot of academic PDF files, right? So these 7, 8 I have added, though I had an option to add 300. I have only added 8, but you can add as much as you like. Now here we start typing and we can chat with all of this and say, for example, give me an example of behavioral indicators in the area of communication for a software engineer, right? So you can take your documents, whatever you have, upload it under this, and then talk to it and get it to do stuff for you, right? So now, based on the sources, behavioral indicators are observable actions that indicate a particular behavior. They're used in various HR contexts, such as behavioral event interviewing, competency mapping. While sources emphasize the behavioral and competency indicators are applicable to technical areas and not limited to soft skills. So you see, it's constantly giving me sources, right? So this is actually from the YouTube video, right? In YouTube video, this is the script of the YouTube video that it is using here, right? I have in that video, I have said these things, right? It's here, it's taking competencies required for, so it's basically giving you a sense of where it has picked up that information from. Every sentence it is validating. And now it says here, ask questions. So these are the competency indicators. Ask questions in meetings or presentations. So you can imagine, right? You upload your competency framework or your HR policy manual, and then you ask it to do stuff for you on the basis of that. Though there is many more things are possible. For example, one really cool thing here is on the basis of all of your uploaded content, check this out. You can, it's pretty cool, right? You can create a podcast, right? and you can create a podcast in many different languages, right? So here, for example, a podcast is created. It's taking a
What's wrong?
Hi everyone, I'm so sorry. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
sorry.
we can hear you.
Okay, great. I just got there's some technical issue for a minute. Yeah. So essentially, what we are looking at is it'll create a podcast from the content that we have given it. It'll be basically two people talking about competency mapping, and they'll do such a brilliant job of talking about whatever is it that we have discussed, and then you can download that podcast and share it with people for different purposes. And you can do it in different languages. It's not just English, but I'll share with you right now the English one. Yeah. Just give me a minute. Yeah, it's just crashing for some reason. Just give me a minute. Or maybe I'll just open a new one. Notebooklm.google, right? I think it's crashing. There's some issue. Yeah. Can all of you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, but your voice is cracking. I guess network issue again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just fixing it. Just give me a minute, guys. Guys, I just need a minute. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm just testing. I feel all of you can hear me. We are just going to that I think that thing is not working. That audio conversation is not loading, but it just seems to be like a current issue with my computer. It is not an issue because hundreds of times I have generated this audio before. So it does work. It's just that it's not happening right now. So if you go to notebooklm.google and you upload a lot of content, do hear the audio conversation that gets loaded here. There you go. It looks like it's loaded. So just let me know if you can hear it. Yeah. Can all of you hear me? No, it's not working. So that's what, when you play it, it's crashing. So we will ignore this for now, but do practice it and do try it out. Remember, a lot of this is just experimentation, so you must not stop experimenting. I'll show you a few more things before we get out of Google Notebook LM. One is, for example, a mind map, right? So what is a mind map? Let's take a look at mind map. So this is what a mind map looks like. So now this is from all the knowledge that it has been trained on, it has created this mind map, which is a connection of ideas and how they relate to each other. So for example, competency mapping and behavioral indicators. The four main ideas are there: competency mapping, behavioral indicators, CHRMP, professional certification, competency frameworks. Now we go here. What is the definition of it? What is the purpose, components? So we see definition. Again, it sort of gives you the identifying competencies for effective performance, list of important skills, and then what is the purpose and significance of it. And then you can see there are all of these things that you can. So it just gives you an overview of what are the ideas that are existing in that. It's a great way to kind of revise and review and understand the whole thing, right? What are the models and methods of competency mapping? So customized generic model, internal diagnosis, expert interviews, workshops, focus groups, application areas. What are the various application areas for competency mapping? What are some examples in education? So all of this mind map is also based on the content that it has been trained on, which you can add up to 300, right? And of course, there is audio overview, which unfortunately is not working for us right now, but it is absolutely brilliant. You'll be shocked by how natural sounding those voices are, though I'm not able to play it for you. And you can create a study guide, you can create a briefing document, you can create a timeline, you can create FAQs, all on the basis of this data that you have already shared with Google LM. So see, for example, this is the study guide that I've created. Some Q&A, some questions and answer keys are there, glossary of key terms, so on and so forth. So all of this you can do with Google LM, right? Notebook LM in Google. So we have looked at, now we have looked at ChatGPT, GPTs within ChatGPT, Perplexity for research, Google LM for domain research, right? You pick a domain, add to it, and then you can create several things from it. You can create many, many different things from it, right? And your use cases. So for example, some use cases for a GPT would be, one use case we looked at in Perplexity was, for example, vendor comparison. But anything which requires research, for example, you are researching the latest labor law codes, you are researching some kind of, you want to confirm a particular kind of framing of a law, or looking for references in law, you can search for that. You are looking for researching on various types of policies that are available, various best practices that are prevalent in the industry. All of that is possible through Perplexity. Within ChatGPT, you can create GPTs. So, for example, are all of you able to hear me? Is my voice clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So in ChatGPT, for example, one of the things you can do is, and we have done it. So I'll give you an example of things that we have done. So there is a, a, a CV parser that we created, right? So a CV parser is basically you train a GPT with your current recruitment evaluation report. So it had like, these are the 10 candidates, this is their criteria, this is the rating, this is the recommendation, all of that, right? So you first upload that and say, this is the output in which I want this is the form in which I want the output. Then you upload a CV, then you upload another CV, then you upload another CV, then you upload another CV. And as you upload CVs, it will compare CV1 to CV2, CV2 to CV3, CV1 to CV3. It will compare all the CVs and prepare a report and give you the final result, right? You can do that with many, many different CVs. So CV parser we have built. We have obviously built HR policy creator. We have built SOP creators, any kind of form or template you have, it's possible to build it with a GPT, with the relevant GPT. You can build training content, you can build simulations, case studies, you can build, for example, people have used the idea model to launch culture change programs in their organization, measure training effectiveness, create social media, something simple, creating a social media policy. It'll just take a few minutes. But if you want to have we have also created chatbots. So for example, people have implemented systems after doing this certification, where in their company, they launched a system where they launched a bot in their company, which was trained on their HR policies. And the bot would answer questions of employees about the policies before it came to a human, right? Pretty much like something that was impossible to imagine before the GPT era, because it would be so complicated. So those are some specific things that we have done, right? Other than that, right now we are working on exactly that LMS that I was talking to ChatGPT about when I was having that verbal conversation. We are working on an LMS that will exactly modify content depending upon who the user is. And in fact, that will launch be first in CHRMP, because we do cater to HR professionals from more than 60 countries, more than 2,000 organizations. So we do have a situation where we need adaptive LMS to cater to different kinds of audiences. So we are building that LMS. We're also building a tool where we have, if you want to practice, for example, your coaching skills, your performance feedback skills, you want to coach, but practice your facilitation skills, you can do that with an AI person, like an AI human, not a real human, but an AI human. You coach the human, you coach the other person. So all of those kind of things are possible, right? So I still have a few demos to give. Just maybe one Cassidy demo I will give for an example of an agent, and one more demo which I want to show you is hopefully for data analysis, if I can find the file which I'm looking for right now as we speak. But any questions that come to your mind, please do ask me. I'm happy to answer those questions. Yes. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, we can see data analysis first.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking for that file. So just give me some time, and I will share that with you. Yeah. Okay. So let me quickly give you a demo of. I'll not give you a demo, but I'll just explain Cassidy to you, and then you have to give me 1 minute to look for that file before I can give you the data analysis demo, right? But Cassidy is an example of an agent, right? So far we have been looking, and I know we have covered a lot of things, but don't worry, we will go through all of this in really in-depth detail in the certification program. So if you join us on that journey, we will delve into each of these things in detail, and we will ensure, like I said, this is a skill like Microsoft Excel, right? It's a skill. It's not a intellectual understanding. Either you're able to do stuff or you're not able to do stuff. And either you're able to connect the dots and make things happen using AI, or you're not able to do that. So our goal in this certification is to ensure that you're able to do things and not just talk about things, right? You're able to achieve goals. You're able to create outcomes. You're able to manage workflows. You're able to create workflows. So that's what the whole program is about. And that's what we will focus on, right? Now, one of the things, so we have looked at a lot of stuff, but let's also quickly look at what an agent is. And I'll just give you an example of an agent, right? Rather than going into it in gory detail. So here is what an agent looks like, right? Let's look at a template, I think, to understand this better. These are examples of actual workflows that we have created, but a better profile would be a template. So let's look at recruiting, for example, right? So here we have score resumes with defined criteria, screen resumes efficiently, draft comprehensive JDs, create custom interview questions from resumes. So this seems like a fairly simple thing where you upload a resume and it gives you custom questions. This is screen resumes efficiently. Compare resumes against a JD or predefined criteria for best matches. This one says score resumes with defined criteria. So let's look at this, right? What's happening here? So this is now the how is this different from ChatGPT? Because here this gives me a pre-created workflow. What is the workflow? The workflow is this. I'll have a box like this. It says score resumes. I upload a resume, right? add a criteria, and I run the workflow, and it will tell me what's happening, how good that candidate is. So let's just try and do that. I'll just look for a, there must be some resume line. Yeah, so this looks like a resume, right? No, this doesn't look like a resume. I'm sorry, I'm just showing you guys all my files. Just give me a minute. Yeah, no, this is all kinds of stuff. So yeah, this looks like a resume. Though I'm not sure if it is. So let me just make sure it is. Just give me a minute, friends. Okay. There's no way to find out. Let's see. The criteria is mid-manager position. No, it's Dr. E. Nandakumar. No, I don't think it will be a resume. It could be a speaker profile for a conference. Just give me a minute, friends. Just give me a minute. Actually, I was not planning to show Cassidy, but because you mentioned agents, so I thought I'll just show it quickly. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Usually I'm inundated with these and I'm having difficulty finding one now. Okay, so okay, let's just try it. Yeah. So we will say criteria is Java. Let us say something else, right? Managerial experience, right? And then we can say maybe something else. Let us say Python. Let's just run the workflow and see what happens. So you can see the workflow is running. It is formulating query for LinkedIn search. Also, it's searching on LinkedIn actually. It has returned a LinkedIn URL. Let's see. Actually returned a LinkedIn URL. Oh yeah, it has. It found the person on LinkedIn. It got the LinkedIn profile. This is the LinkedIn profile of the person, right? It's compared to the criteria. It is now evaluating the candidate. So this is current director at this studio. Oh, so this is a CV. So we were good to go with it. And it has evaluated the candidate. And the candidate evaluation is 35 out of 100. The score is 35 out of 100. Justification, extensive managerial experience spanning over 3 decades, including CEO, director, head of operations roles, complete absence of Java programming experience, no evidence of Python programming, because like I said, this is like a senior person. So, but the idea is that this is the workflow that is happening. So what is the workflow? The workflow is there is a manual trigger. Now, in this case, the way I'm triggering this is by uploading a CV and then adding the criteria. So every time I upload a CV, add a criteria, it will run the workflow for me. And do you see, this is the beauty, friends. This is the prompt. Based on the provided candidate resume, write a query that I can use to find the person's LinkedIn profile. For example, if there is identifiable information, so it has done all that, it has gone to LinkedIn and found the person, right? And then it has, from the provided search, returned the LinkedIn profile URL, then it has received the LinkedIn profile, then it has done the analysis, and then it has evaluated the candidate. So this is essentially the prompt that it is using to do this, right? And these are the ideas it is following. So you can think of it, right? Like this is the stuff you would tell a subordinate. Structure your response as follows: candidate name, score, bullet point with justification, positive and negative. Do not assign scores for each criteria. Now you have built an agent. Now you can also do a bulk run where you kind of upload many CVs at once, and then you ask it to evaluate those CVs. You could also, hypothetically, this is a manual trigger, which means you have to come to Cassidy to run this trigger. But what you could also do is you could run a scheduled trigger, right? A scheduled trigger would mean that every Monday, it would go to a folder, and for all those files in that folder, it would run this workflow and produce an analysis and email that analysis to you. So for example, right now we have a manual trigger, but you could convert it to a scheduled trigger and then connect it to a Google Drive folder, which populate that folder with CVs, and then have it run those and then send it back to you. Now, like you said, right now it's evaluating the candidate and stopping, but you can add here a new step which will send mails, right? So send a compile, send email, right? So send an email to yourself or a teammate. So what we want to do, evaluate the candidate and then send it to me, send it to me, and maybe to one of my colleagues. And the subject is, here is the evaluation of CVs from the folder. And then this is the body of the email. And then I can select here is the evaluation report. And then here I'll put hash and include the previous evaluate report, right? Evaluate candidate. This thing, right? Now I have added a step here where every Monday, I will get an email evaluation of reports added in that folder. And that, my friends, is an agent. So cool, right? So you just have to add folders, add your CVs into a folder, and every Monday you get a report with the analysis. Similar thing for L&D. If you are training people on insurance, for example, you have an agent scan the insurance website for changes on the basis of the changes in the industry website, create a training material, mail that training material to yourself every Monday, or create a quiz on the basis of that training material, mail that quiz to yourself every Monday or every Tuesday or every day, whatever it is, and then let it run. So that is what an agent is. I hope that makes sense. Any questions, any comments? I would be happy to answer, friends. Yes. Does it make sense? Yeah. Any questions? Any questions?
No, as of now.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so what I'll do is I will do a final demo for data analysis. But before that, I want to just quickly tell you a little bit about our certification program as well. So like I said, there is a capstone project. This is the flow of the certification program. 7 weeks, artificial intelligence introduction, AI tools, prompt engineering, build a chatbot, build an agent. Then you have the idea model, which is really taking an HR problem and solving it from a strategic level down to the very granular molecular level of execution, and then submitting that capstone project and getting your certification. So that's the process. These are the tools we learn about. We learn the idea model, which is our proprietary model for execution. We have more than 400 capstone projects implemented in 30 plus countries. Yes, absolutely. In fact, we started this in June 2023, right 6 months after ChatGPT launched, and we were the first company in the world to launch a certification in ChatGPT, in generative AI, right? We have attendance, class exercises, but the most important criteria is capstone project, which has to be done. The final assessment is also there, but the capstone project usually seals the deal. And I also have on this call with me Saunak, who will help you register for the certification if you want. This is what the certificate of achievement looks like. It's a blockchain verified digital certificate, which is hosted online on Hyperstack, who are our partners, and you get a badge, and you also have this kind of a certificate which is validated, and you have all this verifying credentials, and all of that is blockchain verified. You can also go to LinkedIn and search for generative AI or just CHRMP in general, and you will find lots of people talking about us. just search for CHRMP and see what people are saying. When people get certified, they do share their certifications. So, for example, Sophia is here. You have, I mean, usually I just find this. Yeah. So, for example, Fabin Paul, who is CHRMP certified. 2 months ago, he has posted this. You can just search for this. I'm excited to share. I've successfully completed HR generalist certification, and you will find many more with people who have gotten these from other areas as well, right? So just look us up on LinkedIn, see what people are talking about us. It's all positive because we have done great work. More than 60 countries, more than 10,000 people are certified. 23 of the top 500 companies, they use CHRMP certifications or CHRMP certified professionals. And let me quickly tell you about the pricing for the course as well. Sonak is here with me in the Zoom call. He can help you register. If you want, you can message him. And there is also a special offer for those. If you May 31, the new batch is starting on May 31st itself. So we have a special offer for International HR Day, and the course is costing 37,000, but I think there is a fee waiver. If you are from India, it's 29,000 rupees, and if you're not from India, it's $386. So you save 7,000 rupees or $97. You can register now by paying 10,000 rupees, talking to Sonak, who is in the meeting, as well as in the WhatsApp group that. Yeah, and the payment link is shared here with you. If you have any questions, you can write down his number. Sonak, if you can just drop your number in the chat box as well, so that you can use it. People can reach out to you. Like I said, a lot of positive feedback is there for CHRMP in the world. You can look it up. And meanwhile, let me quickly show you the data analysis thing, how it works, right? Just give me a minute. I have gotten the file. I'm just downloading it now. I just pinged my team member for the file because I think I don't have it in my computer. Just give me a minute. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So let's open ChatGPT and I'll share with you how the analysis works, right? Yeah. So now there are two ways of doing analysis. One is, of course, you could just open new chat and do analysis straight from here. If you're going to do some hardcore analysis, maybe a good idea to go to O3, which uses advanced reasoning, because you want it to be at its intellectual best when it's working with your data. Another way of doing it is go to GPTs and find a GPT by ChatGPT called data analyst, right? So that is also a good way of doing it. In fact, we will follow now. So we will go to data analyst by ChatGPT. This is a GPT created by ChatGPT for the purpose of data analysis. And we will try and upload our file here, right? So just give me 1 minute. Yeah. So I'm adding an Excel file here, right? And let me just show you that Excel file once before I sort of add it here. Just give me a minute. Yeah, so this is what that Excel file looks like, right? So it's employee code, full name, employment type, gender, date of birth, age, date of joining, tenure with the organization, all of that, right? So all kinds of data is there, internet transfer, my bookshelf, all of that, right? So there's a lot of data available here. Now let us look at this data and see if ChatGPT can analyze it for us, right? Yeah, so I'll just say act like an HR analyst and provide useful analysis and useful analysis for the attached data. So I have only told it that I am a HR. I wanted to act like an HR analyst. In fact, this is also your introduction to one of the most important rules in prompt engineering, which is when you ask it to adopt a persona, it suddenly starts doing a better job. In fact, recently, the CEO of, not the CEO, the founder of Google, Sergey Brin, he said that if you threaten an LLM, it suddenly starts working better. It gets more motivated, but we don't do that. But threatening seems to get better performance, right? So that is interesting. Act like an HR analyst and provide useful analysis for the attached file. Let's see what it does, right? So you can see it has sort of loaded the file. It's analyzing. Let's see what it is doing. In fact, I had also promised I'll show you a video, right, which shows the stark improvements made in video production in the last 1 week, actually. Just, in fact, it's not even a week, it's 2-3 days, where Google has launched VEO3, which is just incredible. It's actually unbelievable. You have to see that video to believe because it's not just the video, it's also the audio. The VEO3 is not just generating video, but also audio. So we'll look at that maybe after this, but just let's look at it. Dataset containing HR information about employees, such as demographics, employment details, workforce composition, tenure and retention, performance, engagement, department level. So would you like a high level summary across all of these, or would you prefer a deeper dive into specific areas? What would you guys want? Yes, any requests? I'm taking requests, guys. Yes.
Deep drive, deep drive.
Okay. Let's deep dive. Specific areas. Let's start with retention. Right? Let's see if there is any retention related data. Yeah, so it's sort of telling you employment type, number of employees, average tenure, median tenure, minimum tenure, maximum tenure, all of this data it has given. Let me know if you'd like to. Yes, I would like to do, I would like to do all of that. And also, can you show this to me in graphs, right? So it's basically being a little lazy. It's showing me one, because all of this costs money, right? This is all electricity cost, server cost. So it's trying to be slightly shy about how much it does. But essentially I said, yeah, do retention by department, retention by gender or age group, so on and so forth, and show me visualizations for these, right? Yeah. So you can see it is showing me different kinds of graphs, tenure distribution by employment type, and it is an interactive chart of this type is not yet supported. So it is a chart, but not an interactive chart. You can expand that chart and see how many contract, how many full-time, how many interns, and then you can go back and look at a few more, and it has all these types of graphs. So it has by age group, by gender, by department, by employment type, and then we can also, it says next I will analyze relationship between tenure and engagement, performance, grievance, access. Yes, so I can say yes and see, if you see what I have done so far, I have look at my prompts. I said act like an HR analyst and provide useful analysis. I didn't say calculate this number, calculate that number, do this metric, that metric. I just say act like an HR analyst, and it has sort of figured out that as an HR analytics, these are the things it needs to worry about: median tenure, minimum tenure, maximum tenure, all of that, right? And similarly, it thinks it has to do these four things. All of this it's doing on its own, right? I'm not essentially asking it to do that. So it was not able to do it. Now it's trying to fix it. So it says, I will fix that now. And it's working on that, right? So this is an example of data analysis being done by the AI. But of course, this is not entirely foolproof. So personally, I don't still trust entirely data analysis by AI, unless it's something that where the decimals and the dots don't matter. Because remember, it is generative, right? So it has to have a properly implemented RAG system for it to give you correct data. If it doesn't have that, then maybe it might not be working properly. So those are the things, right? So, and we could go on, right? Do a deep dive into training. Yeah. And then it will do a deep dive into training. So that's essentially how the data analytics works. Any questions, anything you'd like to ask about this or about the certification? I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Yeah.
There is one query about the analytics. Today we are talking of predictive and prescriptive analytics. So how AI is going to helpful to generate this kind of analytics? You talk of talent management today. We are worried about the flight risk. We are worried about the retention. So how it will be helpful?
It will be helpful in pretty much like this. So for example, we could say, can you take the approach of predictive analytics, and share your findings for attrition and training. Let's just say, or let's see what it does, right? So is it able to do predictive analytics? Is it able to implement those models? Let's find out. It will do something. It will do a prediction, right? So essentially, it's not going to do something new. What it is going to do is what you and I can do, but the machine will do it, right? So it says correlation matrix, attrition, training, tenure, age, predictive insights. Here is what the correlation matrix reveals. Attrition and tenure has strong positive correlation. Attrition and training, weak positive correlation. Attrition and age correlation is nearly zero. No meaningful relationship is there. So a strong positive correlation between attrition and tenure. Training does not significantly reduce attrition risk based on this data. Attrition is more strongly linked to tenure, possibly because dataset includes several former employees with natural higher tenures before leaving. So would you like to build a basic predictive model for attrition? Yes, build a basic predictive model, right? So now it's going to do that. So essentially, like the goal of any training, any data set being used to train the AI is to replicate what humans can do, but do it in a few minutes or seconds. Similarly, for example, it did not show you deep research. I did not show you Canvas. I did not show you so many other things which have varying uses, which completely transform the way you work on various things, right? So logistic regression classification reports on it has given a precision recall F1 scores, so on and so forth. So key findings: tenure is the most influential predictor of attrition. Training duration and age had minimal influence. So that's your predictive finding from the data that we have uploaded, right? So that's pretty much what it can do as far as this is concerned, right? All right. Any questions, anything you would like to ask? I'll be happy to answer about the certification or about anything in generative AI in general, because it's also an opportunity for us to FaceTime so we can have a conversation. If you will, if you want, I can also, if you just let me know in chat, if you want to see the current VEO3 capabilities of Google, which is really incredibly impressive, I'll be happy to show that to you as well. In fact, I just shared that with my team today because I just couldn't believe it. I shared it in our chat group saying that this is incredible, because we were thinking this is like 3 years away. what they have been able to do. And it's absolutely incredible. Any questions, friends?
It's a question about the program. What will be the timing of the sessions?
Sonak, can you help us with that? I think it's on Saturdays. Usually it's evening 6 to 9, but Sonak will have the exact time. Sonak, are you there?
Yes, Abhishek. It's 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. on Saturdays.
Yeah, 6:30. So it's a 3-hour program every Saturday, and it essentially 3 hours of session, and then there is some assignments that are given. Then that's how we build it, right? Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, Abhishek. It was really a fantastic session. Thank you very much.
Okay, Manoj. But before you guys go, for those of you who are interested, I just want you to take a look at this video. Yeah. Because I think this is absolutely incredible. Just look at this, right? It's completely unbelievable. Can all of you see my screen? It shows a person eating noodles.
Yes.
Right? Okay, now let's see this video.
2 years ago, an AI video of Will Smith eating spaghetti made the entire internet laugh. His face melted, his jaw flopped around like a broken sock puppet, and the pasta looked like it had been rendered in Microsoft Paint by a drunk robot. And everyone laughed because this video was ridiculous. It was really bad. It looked like it was entirely
Everyone can hear the sound, right? Yeah?
Yes.
pixelated, the physics weren't right, everything was morphed, it was just horrible. And now we have this, and what you are about to see and hear are entirely generated AI videos that come from a very simple prompt from Google's new VEO product.
So friends, remember, this is everything you see, the video and the audio. The audio as well is the result of a text prompt. Somebody has typed a paragraph which has resulted in these videos, which you will see now, and the audios.
Okay, so Riz is basically short for charisma.
Got it.
And that's a verb as well.
The microfilm is in your ticket.
They're watching the north exit. Use the service tunnel.
This ocean, it's a force, a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light.
It's a girl! Oh my god. Yes! Woo! Victory Royale with a pickaxe! Woo!
So this is an AI video about nothing?
It's about nothing. Who would watch a video about nothing? This is amazing.
Imagine all the narrative possibilities.
We can sing talk.
Right? So this is just a 2-day-old release. And it's absolutely incredible, because even for those of us who are following AI, it's absolutely incredible, because this progress was like 3 years away, because they were still trying to get the video right and the sound right. So this is pretty incredible. I hope you enjoyed that clip. I'm in the WhatsApp group, so if you are interested, if you have any further questions, feel free to ask me. Reach out to Sonak if you want to sign up for the certification, or if you have any questions. It was a pleasure talking to all of you. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Any questions? You can ask me. Okay. So I'm ending the course then. Thank you so much. Wonderful to talk to all of you. Bye-bye.